Finally, EA Sports FC has been released, and with the new release comes quite a few changes to career mode this year. Tactical visions are one of the biggest new features in EA Sports FC, but what exactly are they and how do they work? We'll be starting with the basics today, and I'll be showing you the difference between each tactical vision, and then we'll move on to finding the right vision for your team. So the basics. There are actually now a total of 7 EA Sports tactical visions to choose from. First of all, we have Standard, which is just a balanced approach to the match. It doesn't focus on attack or defense in any sort of way, and it's ideal for when you've just joined a new team and you're not too sure about the squad and what you can do with it. Wing play is using the full width of the pitch to create chances for your attackers. This style often includes overlapping fullbacks, lots of wingers, and usually a target man who's going to be trying to head in as many crosses as you can provide. Tiki-Taka is a possession-based style of play that involves lots of short passing and movement. This style of play is designed to create chances for attackers by wearing down the opposition and eventually passing the ball through them. Counter-attack is a defensive style of play that focuses on quick attacks after winning the ball back. This style of play is often used by teams who are not actually that good at keeping the ball with possession, so instead use their pace and physicality to score goals on the counter. Gegenpressing is a high-intensity style of play that involves pressing the opposition as high up the pitch as you can in order to win the ball as close to the opposition goal. This style of play is often used by teams who just want to dominate the opposition and give them no space or time to play the ball around. Kick and rush is the first and only style of play that's not been seen on a FIFA game in the past. It's a direct style of play that involves long balls being played forward to the strikers. This style of play is often used by teams who aren't very good at possession football, so instead hit the ball over the opposition defenders and hope their striker is fast enough to get on the other side of it. And finally we have Park the Bus, which is a super defensive style of play that involves defending as deep as possible and preventing the opposition from scoring. Parking the bus is often used by either Italian teams or teams who are desperate to protect a lead. But every single style that we've just mentioned needs a different set of attributes to work well on the pitch. I highly recommend one of the first things you do when you load up your career mode is check your team's strengths and weaknesses. If you've got lots of high stamina and very aggressive players, then Gegenpress and Kick and Rush could be absolutely ideal for you. If you've got a very technical but physically weak side, then I think Tiki-Taka or Wing Play could be perfect for your team. On the screen right now is an easy chart that I've made. You can follow it if you're not sure which attributes are important for each style. If you feel that you need to sign a player, thankfully this year we're also able to scout based on our chosen tactical style. For example, if you're after a new striker for your team and you're a counter-attack system, the scouts will focus on searching for players with high pace, dribbling and positioning, while if you were playing a Park the Bus system, you'd probably be looking for standing tackle, strength and heading instead. I've not seen this mentioned anywhere else, but also don't forget that it's easier to find certain kinds of players in certain nations. Typically, a Spanish player will be better on the ball than an English one, while a German's probably going to be better at pressing than a Brazilian. Keep that in mind when in the scouting hub and choosing the nations that you're sending your scouts out to. Okay, so now you know how to build your team around a tactic. Now let's move on to the more advanced parts of the tactical vision systems. You might not have realized that every single coach you have can give boosts to a player based on their preset tactical vision. For example, every single experienced coach has a different ability for a tactical vision. Some coaches can be good at counter-attacking, others at gegenpressing. It's not that important to pair every coach with your style, but it can give you some really good benefits if you do. As a baseline, every single coach will start out at a novice level in all 7 tactical visions. The more experienced coaches may be at accomplished or expert in one tactical vision. You can increase the ability of every single coach actually quite easily. Every single game you play gives a small amount of XP to this stat, while every win you get will earn a slightly larger amount of XP as well. The more XP that this coach gets, the better they will be at coaching that style. This means really good coaches can give massive boosts to players' stats. A novice level coach can typically only increase 3 attributes at most by a small amount. Meanwhile, an expert level coach can increase up to 9 attributes by up to 10 points. The only way you can sort of define where these boosts are going is by the coach's highest tactical vision rating. Tiki-Taka coaches will still boost short passing, even if your team is playing kick and rush. The attributes that are increased for each player are determined by the combination of the tactical vision the coach knows and the position that the player is on the pitch. So for example, A wing play coach can increase, among others, crossing, sprint speed, acceleration and dribbling for every winger, while also increasing strength, heading, shot power, jumping and finishing for every striker. I'm sure you can see the massive impact this could have on your career mode. Every single cross will be more likely to go in because your strikers are more likely to win the header and your wingers are more likely to put it in the right place. By comparison, a counter-attack coach would instead improve the agility, stamina, finishing, dribbling and acceleration for wingers, meaning they're more able to run down the pitch and score themselves, while also improving the dribbling, ball control, acceleration, finishing and sprint speed for strikers, meaning they're more likely to get on the end of a pass from a winger. Depending on the player and the coach's ability, this can be a small improvement of a few points here and there, but others can turn them from average all the way to world class, so it is actually a super important thing to know about, even if it might not seem that relevant in this video. I think that's just about everything you need to know about coaching and tactical styles, so make sure you pick your backroom staff wisely. Okay, let's end this video by moving on to the more tactical side of your playing style, the more traditional FIFA tactic side. While you can use any tactical vision with any formation, of course, it definitely makes sense to combine complementary tactics together. There's no point going wing play in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow formation, it doesn't have any wingers. There's no point playing kick and rush if you've got a false 9 because no one's going to be running in behind the opposition's defense. It's actually really easy to make sure you get your formation matching to your tactic. Every single tactical vision has a defensive depth, an attacking width and a chance creation. Have a look at these and you can basically never go wrong. If your style plays with a low defensive depth, I'd recommend picking more defenders in your tactic. Park the burst and a 5-4-1 is a match made in heaven. If your tactic has a high width, then I would recommend you play both wingers and wingbacks, something like the 3-4-3. For if you've got a tactical vision with a possession-based chance creation, then I think you should pack as many players as possible into your midfield. A 4-2-3-1 would work here, but it would also work with Tiki-Taka, Gegenpressing and just on standard. So if you're lost, I'd recommend just going for a 4-2-3-1. After you've played a few games trying out all the different tactical styles that make sense for your team, I absolutely think you should try creating your own. There is the option to use custom visions, which removes some of the restrictions to things like depth and width that pre-made tactics do put in place. When you create your own custom tactical vision, then it's basically the same as the old FIFA tactic creator. You can easily copy and change little things about an existing vision, but the only downside here is that coaches will no longer boost according to your custom tactic. Instead, they just pick one of the 7 pre-made tactics to boost with instead. Okay, so let's quickly summarize this video. We now have 7 tactical visions: standard, wing play, tiki-taka, counter-attacking, gegenpress, kick and rush, and park the bus. But each one of these has a different set of attributes that are important for it to work well on the pitch. Coaches can give boosts to players based on their preset tactical visions, but you can also increase their affinity by playing games and winning games. The attributes that are increased for each player is determined by their position on the pitch and the tactical vision. This means if you put a centre mid on the wing, they'll get the winger boost instead of the centre mid boosts. You can also use any tactical vision with any formation, but it makes sense to try and combine ones that make sense. If you've spent a few games trying all the tactical styles, feel free to create your own because it'll probably be more effective to how you want to play. Hopefully all of that made sense, but if not, feel free to join our Discord and tag me so that I can answer any questions you have. Check out the 2 videos on screen right now, and thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it. Cheers and goodbye.